Giving me an up-close and personal view. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the JoAnne Powell Show. I'm JoAnne. We're coming to you from the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM.TV, Hollywood. Well, it's great to be back here with you after being gone for a little bit of time, taking a little R&R time away. So it's good to be back. I'll tell you a little bit more about my trip. I spent some time in the UK. Really nice. I had a fun time in London and abroad, so it was really good. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We're also going to be talking about healthcare reform, but we're going to start things off with the investigation currently underway regarding the emails of Donald Trump Jr. and his visit that he had with a Russian attorney during the campaign and her links possibly to the Kremlin. That is a lot of people kind of taking a closer look at what exactly happened there. The meeting, according to the New York Times, took place during that campaign. Trump Jr. first said that the meeting had to do with adoption. Then he changed his story and said that it had to do with coming up with some dirt on Hillary Clinton during the campaign. Well, the emails show that Donald Trump Jr.'s willingness to accept Russian help to defeat Hillary Clinton during the election. Some of those that were involved with that particular meeting happened to be campaign manager Paul Manafort and Jared Kushner, along with Don Trump Jr. So that's something that a lot of people want to know more information about what exactly happened. Well, in Trump Jr.'s first interview since the story broke, he tells Fox News that he didn't realize what he was getting into.
We just won Indiana, but we're talking about a contested convention. Things are going a million miles an hour again. And, hey, wait a minute. I've heard about all these things, but maybe this is something. I should hear him out. I actually didn't know anything about it. Again, an acquaintance, send me this email. As a courtesy to him, I said, okay, let's meet. But I didn't know who I was meeting beforehand, never heard of the person, never got the information until they were in the room. This was, again, just basic information that was going to be possibly there. I didn't know these guys well enough to understand that if this talent manager from this universe, had this kind of thing. So I wanted to hear him out and play it out and see what happens. But, people are trying to reach out to you all the time with this. Listen, I've been reading about scandals that people were probably underreporting for a long time. So maybe it was something that had to do with one of those things. I mean, this was her, perhaps, involvement with the Russian government. So, again, I didn't know there was any credibility. I didn't know if there was anything behind it. I can't vouch for the information. Someone sent me an email. I can't help what someone sends me. I read it. I responded accordingly. And if there was something interesting there, I think it's pretty common. This is Russia fever. This is pre-Russia mania. This is 13 months ago, before I think the rest of the world was talking about that, trying to build up this narrative about Russia. So I don't even think my sirens, went up, or the antennas went up at this time because of it, because it wasn't the issue that it's been made out to be over the last, 9 months, 10 months, since it really became a thing. So I think there is an element of context to that. At the time, it wasn't this big news story.
The president in a tweet says that his son is innocent, and he defends his son, saying that he's innocent and he's being very transparent. Well, joining me now to talk more about this is Bill Snyder. He's a political analyst. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
What is your take on this whole most recent scandal connecting the Trump administration with another Russia connection?
Damaging, not fatal yet, but damaging. We now know that there is evidence stated in the email from the source in London, the music publicist, that the Russian government wanted to undermine the Clinton campaign and help Trump get elected. That has been explicitly stated. And that Donald Trump was eager to get that information. When the idea was presented that they had damaging information about the Clinton campaign, he responded, love it.
Yeah.
So what it establishes is a state of mind on the part of of Trump operatives, his son, his son-in-law, his about-to-be campaign manager, right, Paul Manafort, that they were interested in collaboration with the Russians. What we don't have yet is any clear evidence that they solicited collaboration from the Russians or agreed to make a deal to get it.
Now, how damaging is this to the administration? Because they've been saying that this is a witch hunt. There's nothing to it. It's a non-story, but that's being, kind of fanned the flames by the, mainstream media. The, alternative facts are not real news.
Well, there's
fake
some
news.
It's clearly a legal problem for them. It establishes what lawyers call a state of mind. The technical term is mens rea. That there was a state of mind to commit what would be a crime.
Right.
The crime was to accept something of value, in this case, opposition research, from a foreign source,
Right.
a hostile foreign source,
Correct.
the Russian government. That would be a crime. And so if you wanted to establish a conspiracy to commit a crime, this would be some evidence of a conspiracy. What we don't have yet is evidence of the actual crime, although we know a few days later the Russians released to WikiLeaks damaging emails that they had hacked from the Democratic National Committee.
And there's one aspect that some people are saying the naivete of Don Jr., because he really doesn't know a lot about how it works in the political arena.
He doesn't. His father doesn't. Paul Manafort should. He'd been around for a long time. But they're new to the political process. They don't understand what can and can't be done. They are from the world of New York real estate.
And business, just doing business.
But particularly New York real
Yeah,
estate, where
yeah.
anything you can get away with, you get away with.
Okay.
I mean, the rules are very, very different. So this is part of the price you pay for inexperience.
Now, do you, because most people are saying that if something like this was to happen, the first thing that you would do was to report it to the authorities versus just kind of taking it on your own.
And Donald Trump Jr. claims that that's what he did. He released the emails on his own volition, but he did it only after he was told that the New York Times was about to publish it within a few hours.
Exactly.
So he went ahead and released it, and then is claiming credit for transparency because he just broke the story before the New York Times could.
And that's interesting because we've seen a pattern with the Trump administration that all of a sudden the transparency comes when they are kind of put in a situation, oh, we're going to run this story. What is your reaction? But if it wasn't for the story to be run, people would not even know that it happened.
And the story that Donald Trump Jr. gave kept changing with
Correct.
each new revelation.
Yes.
First, it was a meeting to talk about the adoption of Russian children. Nothing of importance was discussed. Then it was they did mention that there was some opposition research. And every time the journalist found some more damaging information, he would have to release something else or try to give a new explanation.
And that's another pattern. The administration seems very comfortable not being forthcoming with what they say. They lie to the American people quite often and comfortably.
Yeah, or they spread things that simply have no substantiation. In fact, like 3 million people cast illegal ballots, and
Yeah.
they want to investigate 50 states' voting rolls. There is no evidence of that.
And that's another issue that people are very concerned about, their information being handed over when it comes to the voter registration. A lot of states have said no.
I think almost all the states have said no, including those with the Republican secretaries of state, as an invasion of privacy,
Correct.
and in many cases, like California, a violation of state law. So you're getting real resistance on that.
Definitely. Well, because it's not something that's constitutional in terms of how states run and what the government has the right to of the people in the United States.
And this commission is aiming to investigate something, a crime, a fraud, that there's no evidence actually happened. There's no evidence it actually happened.
And shifting gears back to the whole issue with Russia, and the administration has been really wanting to distance itself, but it's like almost every day something reconnects. The dots are starting to connect versus it being so obscure. So who do you think is believing what the spin of President Trump?
He has a base. He has an army out there. It's maybe 20-25% of Americans, including most of the people who voted for him. They are still with him. They don't perceive that he has betrayed them, and in fact, I've heard people talk about this from Trump supporters, and when they discuss it, they say, "What was the crime here? There's nothing there. They were trying to undermine the Clinton campaign. What's the matter with that? They hate Hillary Clinton. They don't understand. To them, when Trump says this is a witch hunt, well, they believe that because they're not shocked or betrayed at this point."
That's the key. When will you realize that what is being patriotic or what is the party, country first versus party? Because that's the whole concept. These are things, and these allegations are against the fiber of our existence as a country.
What you have to disrupt the Trump base is something close to an indictment of one of the people on the campaign, some clear evidence that a crime has been committed. That would change the conversation immediately, and his base might get very concerned about that. But right now, Trump is not in a terrible position. He will be okay, President Trump, as long as two things remain true. Republicans keep a majority in the House, so that they will be very reluctant to vote to impeach him. And second of all, that his base stays with him. That's very important, because Republicans are terrified in Congress. They're terrified of have a primary opponent running against them. What was the guy's name? The majority leader, who was defeated in 2014.
Oh, right. I can't remember his name.
Cantor.
But Cantor. The Cantor scenario.
Cantor. He was defeated by something he didn't see coming, namely an angry conservative army that was out to overthrow him because they didn't like his views on immigration.
Right.
Trump is threatening to do that. He is actually, his people, or rather the PACs that support him, are doing that right now to the senator from Nevada, Dean Heller, who is not supporting the health care bill.
Okay.
The Trump organizations are aiming to overthrow him. Elected Democrat, they don't care.
Yeah.
They'll do whatever it takes. But that's a real threat, and it's got Republican members of Congress terrified.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. You're watching the JoAnne Powell Show.
If you are an adult that began college and has not finished your college degree, let me put it to you straight. If your lifestyle and your standard of living is not becoming to you, then you should be coming to us, Oakwood University Elite Program. We are the fast, flexible adult degree completion program for the busy adult, like you.
Register today. Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098. It's time to leap.
I'm JoAnne with the JoAnne Powell Show. You're watching the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM Hollywood.
Thanks to Oakwood University and the LEAP program, I have now a college degree. So to the Spanish-speaking members of this community who feel that the LEAP program is something you should consider, I would say, ánimo a la universidad. Considere el programa LEAP de Oakwood University.
Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098.
Seize the day scuba for your best scuba experience above and below the sea. You'll find friendly staff, experienced PADI certified instructors, and state-of-the-art scuba equipment and gear. Join our dive club and we'll help you plan memorable scuba excursions. Immerse yourself. Seize the day scuba, serving Southern California. Call 949-220-0500 to create your scuba experience.
When I first started into the program, yes, I had doubts. I was really impressed with Oakwood University, with the faculty and the staff and the student body. It was a really good experience, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who was thinking about going back and finishing their degree.
Register today. Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098.